When we're doing a compassion practice, part of the compassion is it comes naturally when we acknowledge what our situation is. If we were to really just look at our own lives, there's so much joy and beauty in a human life, and there's so much hardship. Acknowledging the truth of a human life is kind of an opening into compassion. And in our culture, there's so much pressure, kind of, and ideas about how we should be able to manage everything and cope with things. There's not a lot of room for humanity. And that's something that we could always make room for in our own mind and hearts, for the wonderful complexity and joy of being human, and for the difficulty of being human. We live in these mammal bodies with these primitive brains that gather up evidence through our lives about what's safe and what's not. We have the negativity bias. The whole system is set up to keep our body alive. And we all live with and around and are affected by people who are not very healthy emotionally, or not very mature, not very self regulated. So we've all had those experiences many, many times. And right now, for this period of time, we're choosing to take a time out from the difficulty of the world to be present with ourselves and to practice kindness and compassion. Often, compassion is felt through the heart center. If you were to bring your attention into your heart center right now, notice what's here and see if you can notice it without any pressure, maybe without even any preference, although that's a little bit trickier. We all feel pretty wonderful when we have this open heart and compassion. And none of us really enjoy it as much when we have that more shut down. We can't access our heart as well. But whatever it is right now in your heart center, it's not going to be opened up by judging it if it's not so open. And that's where this acceptance comes in, is to really tune into your whole body from head to toes. Notice if your body is pretty relaxed or if there are tight spots, we can go through them. The really common places where we're held and tight is the forehead and eyebrows. You could move your eyebrows up, let them soften around your eyes as well. Another common place that we hold tightness is the jaw. We clench our teeth, holding some kind of contraction or tenseness through the mouth and jaw. So you could move your lower jaw around a little bit. You could put a little more space between your upper jaw and lower jaw so your teeth aren't clenched. Relax your throat and your vocal cords as well. then notice what's happening the back of your neck, your shoulders, the large muscles of your upper back. And let your shoulders soften so they move away from your ears. If you're supported through your back, you could really surrender your body to that support. There's nothing that's actually made better in this moment, anyway, by having our shoulders up around our ears, by bracing ourselves, by having tightness through the back. So, as we remember and acknowledge that, we could let that whole area soften. Notice the shoulder blades and that area between the shoulder blades, it's just behind the heart center. Notice the rib cage, the muscles that cover the rib cage that protects the heart and lungs. Muscles that cover the stomach area down into the belly. And let your breathing become more easy, more ease in your breath. Let your muscles soften so that when you breathe in and the muscle fibers in your stomach area lengthen, that there's nothing resisting that. Let them really soften. And as you breathe out, the stomach settles back towards the spine. Everything softens. And for a moment, let's keep an eye on the breath. Very helpful to have a smooth, even breath. So if you're holding your breath, or if you have a habit of holding your breath, most people would develop a habit of either holding it after they breathe in and then not kind of ready to let it go, or holding it after they finish breathing out, not quite ready to take a new in breath in. So when we focus on this smooth, even rhythm of the breath, it can help us psychologically as well. Taking it in when we're ready and letting it go. Taking in a new breath and letting it go. And if we have any kind of dysregulated breathing, there's a reason. The body's born breathing diaphragmatically, smooth, even diaphragmatic breath through the nose. And if anything disturbs it, then it can easily develop patterns that aren't so healthy. A lot of times people will be breathing in their chest and not diaphragmatically. The diaphragm muscle at the lower rib cage can't really move freely if there's a lot of tension or tightness. So if you have any kind of a breathing pattern like that, acknowledge that it's there because something has tightened you up. It's always some kind of fear or anxiety that's behind dysregulated breathing. And as you acknowledge that, could you have compassion? Could you hold yourself with some kindness? My life to date has been such that I've developed a pattern of holding my breath or of tightness through my body, of not the ease that I would have hoped for. And now, as we're doing a practice like this, often the breath becomes smoother. There's more ease in the breath. And especially if we cannot shame ourselves for our breathing patterns or for the tightness in our neck and shoulders. But instead, if we could have some kindness, we never set out to become kind of a wreck. We never set out to have a tight body or dysregulated breath, to have catastrophic thinking or any of the trauma responses that cause us suffering. We can really trust that we want the best for ourselves and that we're doing the best we can given our circumstance. So feel into that for a moment. I really want the best for myself. And I know what's best for me is an attitude of openness, softness, non judging, non shaming, kindness, compassion. That's what's the best. And I'm really willing and really wanting the best for myself. Let your breath be easy and focus on your breath, focus on your whole body. Stay really grounded. And the conscious mind might get involved and point out all the times when you've done something that wasn't the best thing, argue with you. But right now, we're not really interested in the conscious mind. We're really kind of settling into the heart, to that deep, deep knowing, our willingness to be kind, to be compassionate with ourselves. Notice again in your body if there's something that you could soften a bit more. Forehead and eyebrows, your jaw, neck and shoulders, down through your back, through your chest and stomach. And really move towards or cultivate whatever softness and kindness is here right now. Whatever willingness is here to be compassionate and kind with yourself. Let everything else move to the background. And what would that be like? For a few minutes, visualize using all of your senses, images, felt sense in your body, images of relationships or something else going on in your life. What would your life be like if you were consistently kind and compassionate with yourself? Feel that in your body to start. Your body would be relaxed, you'd have lots of energy. Your breath would be healthy and smooth, getting lots of oxygen into your brain, all of the systems of your body. Your mind would be calmer, clearer. If any kind of judging or shaming thoughts came in, you'd notice right away because that was not the norm anymore. You're really present with yourself. You're grounded in your body. Notice what your body language would be like without all of the tension and tightness in your body. You would move differently. Your health would be different too. What would people see on your face if you were to sit down for a visit with somebody? What would they see on your face? This person who's kind and compassionate with herself. What would your relationships be like? If you're isolated right now and there's a lot of anxiety around meeting new people or going out, connecting with people, would that still be the same? Would there be more room for people in your life if they weren't such a threat? Maybe there would be more kindness and compassion for other people as well, would just naturally grow out of this in your heart. And if you're having any kind of resistance to this exercise, notice if you could have compassion for yourself that there's resistance to that. We're not performing monkeys. We get to have whatever experience we have. And then could we be soft with ourselves about that? Bring your attention into your heart center. Let go of any resistance at all, just for a moment. Notice what it feels like in your heart center. If there was 100% kindness, compassion, you could be present with yourself without any barriers at all. Allow yourself to feel that. And take a moment to review what's been coming and going in your mind and your experience. Are there places or things that you might want to spend more time with? Did you notice there was resistance in places, or did you notice that there was a softening in places that you could go into some more? There's really no right or wrong result when we're doing an inquiry. We're just learning, we're tuning in. One of the things we acknowledge is that whatever it is that's going on, it's being formed by our experience. So if we have tension in our body or unhealthy thinking patterns or anything, anything that's less than ideal, it's because they've formed in response to fear or threat or harm of some kind. And that our practice now could really just be holding ourselves with kindness, seeing the truth, stopping the blame or the shaming, and holding open that possibility that we could be kind and compassionate with ourselves, and that we don't need to do anything else. That's the foundation of healing. And then take your time. When you're ready, open your eyes and finish the practice.